interests are in the area of chemical enhanced oil recovery. She was the first place winner in the PhD division of the 2018 and 2020 MENA Regional SB Student Paper Contest. She is currently volunteering as an SB Energy for Me ambassador. So I'll give you the chance, Dr. Maissa, to start and welcoming our attendees.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope all you can hear me clearly. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very excited to be with you today. Actually, this is my first time giving a workshop. So to me, this workshop is very special. It's the first time I'm doing this, so it's my first experience. And I hope that you will learn a lot, that this workshop will be beneficial to you all, that you learn new things, and also I will learn a lot from this experience. Thank you all for your interest and attending, and I think better to start. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So our first online workshop for this semester, now I'm going to present about writing technical paper. So the topics covered in this workshop will be first like an introductory about the technical paper. What is the technical paper? What are the types of technical paper? And then I will talk about what are the benefits of publishing. Like, okay, we'll have a workshop about technical paper, about publishing a technical paper. Like, why would I be interested in publishing? Like, I will talk about the benefits at all levels, as a personal level, as a research community level, or also as a public community level. And then I will talk about the publishing process, because understanding the publishing process is very important for efficient technical paper writing. After that, we'll talk about the main guidelines for paper writing. Then we'll mention some of the main publishing ethics. And useful tool actually will not be at last. The useful tool will be introduced at the location when they are needed. So first of all, what is a technical paper? A technical paper, simply, it's a document, a published document that describes a process or a result of a technical or a scientific research. Okay, so you'll ask yourself, what is a scientific research? How can I do a scientific research? How I can establish a scientific research? How I can write a scientific paper or a technical paper? And some of the people that ask, like, writing a technical paper, actually it comes at each stage, like in the middle of the research, at the beginning, or at the end. So the steps to develop a research as follows. First, it starts by selecting a topic. So you select a topic. There are endless topics. You say that I want to do my research in this topic. And then you will go and you'll do what you call it, a literature survey in this topic, specifically in this topic. You will see, or you'll try to find what others they have published in the past, like what are the results presented in the literature. And while going through the literature, you'll try to find like what is still need to be done, or what are the gaps still in the literature, and what still need to be covered, and what require further research. From that, from all this research and from your survey, you will come up with a problem identification. You start stating your problem. So the problem is this, and then I need to work on this. I need to find a solution for this problem. And after that, you start to plan your research. And to design your research, like what kind of experiments I'm going to do, like what areas I'm going to cover, or all what is needed to solve this problem, to present a solution for this problem. And then after that, after conducting the experiments and doing all the research work, you will collect the data, which are the results, and then you'll analyze the data. And then after analyzing the data and doing a full discussion of it and coming up with a conclusion, at the end you will write your paper. So writing the paper, it comes actually after you finish your scientific research. It comes at the end, not at the middle, not at the beginning. So usually when you write your paper, you already knows your results because it comes at the end. Like, I have this results that I want to publish now. Okay, I discovered something. It helped me a lot. I learned a lot. I want to share this knowledge with the community. So here it comes, the stage when you want or why you want to write a paper. Okay, there are many types of technical paper. Because in the definition it's a document, so it comes in different from the technical paper. It can be either original research paper. Actually, usually this one is like when you do a research yourself, so that's why it's called original. So the results you're going to present are actually your own results. It can be also a review paper. The review paper, it's not an original technical paper, because what you do actually is you go into the literature and then you review published research in the literature at a certain topic, and then you try to try to present them in a narrative way. So like going from the beginning till the end, and you can give your opinion at the end. Short reports letter is something similar to the lab reports, the lab technical report, I think you're familiar with. So for the short report, there is less attention on the literature. It's mainly like results, stating the results, and no much attention is paid to the literature. There is a literature review, but it's not like as deep as it is in the review paper or the research paper. Case study, also similar to the other papers, but actually you utilize real data, acts from actual case, actual field, and then like the whole research or the whole paper is just discussing and explaining a certain case, a case in a field or case study. Methods documentation, similar to, for example, the API standards. Like the API standard, it comes as a technical paper that it describes how you're going to use a certain instrument or how to conduct a certain test. Okay, so now we know what is a technical paper, and we know when exactly we write the technical paper, at which stage of the research, and what are the types of the technical paper. So all this talk about technical paper, you'll ask yourself, like, why should I go through all of this? Why would I want even to write a technical paper to establish a research? As I said, there are lots of benefits of publishing at all levels. You as a person, the science community, and also the society. So starting with you as a person, research. The first thing is knowledge gain. The knowledge you are getting from conducting and research yourself is much more bigger than reading it or someone like telling you this information or teaching you something. When you do it yourself, you will never forget it, and you will have strong confidence in whatever you are doing. Also, your writing skills improve, like when you like yearly, at a yearly basis, whenever you are doing a research, whenever you are having a set of results that these results are very nice, these results worth publishing, and then you need to write a technical paper, and from paper to paper you need to change things, you need to change your writing so they will not be the same. With time you'll find that your writing skills improve a lot. Also, you will get recognition. Like if your work is getting published, that means it's available online. Like anyone can Google and access. Like, okay, they like this work. This work is nice. Who's this person? So by this, you are getting recognition as a scientist, as a researcher, by just publishing your work. Citation, it means that when someone is quoting your results or your work, like in their study, like for example, you publish something, and and then someone else like he read your work, and then he cited part of your work, like this result or this outcomes, and then he included in his publication. So this is what is the term of citation. So when you get, usually the career development of a researcher is based on how much you get citation. So by citation is also considered as recognition and the more citation you get, the more well established you will be in the research community. Lastly, collaboration opportunities. The same, when you have published work, like work is published and it's available for many people to see, many people to read, many people, to benefit from, like people from different parts of the world, they will be interested to work with you. Like, okay, this researcher, he's doing excellent job. He has like the techniques he's using, the type of analysis he's doing, even the quality of his writing, the number of citation. Okay, this person is very impressive, and it's and it will be excellent if we have a collaboration opportunity together to do a research work. This one, it will be this opportunity. It's great for you because this will make you advance a lot in your career as a researcher. Okay, now moving on the benefits of you for publishing on you as a personal, to how publishing benefits the science community. To the science community, paper, to them this is new science achievement. Whatever you do, it's considered as an achievement for the science. It's an addition to the science, like you added something else to the literature. You are building on the literature. So whatever you publish, it's considered an achievement for the science community. In addition, this is archive for the future. When you think about it, like most of the old research work, like let's say 200 years ago, like how people they archive the research or the science through books, through knowledge transfer, like from person to person. But like the chances of that kind of knowledge to transfer, like from generation to generation, with time, you'll find that some of the science get lost. Why? Because of the poor archiving. So the more you are working in the research, the more you are publishing, the more we have archive for the future. Like for example, me, I can access publication from 1958 just by entering, Googling it, and I can find a paper that's since 1958. Imagine at that time, and it was even typed with typewriter, and with the quality, with the effort of the people. Now around 100, not 100, let's say 70 years ago, I can still access that. Having the research available online, having like the research in the form of technical papers, and it's available online, this is considered as an archive that you can access from anywhere, whenever you are, wherever you are, you can access it and you can use it and benefit from it. Also, at the same context, this will save time and will save effort. For example, if you published, the more you publish, the more it will be easier for others to find information, and this will save time, will save effort. Like if the more you try, the more you'll make it easier on people, like to go to the next step. Like, okay, this been tried, this been done. Okay, they found this, I can avoid this, I can do this. So this is more, you are enhancing the efficiency. And the most important thing of publishing, that what you publish, it can be reused for teaching. Like imagine this, the information or the science or the data you are publishing, that will live through generation, that it will be, it will be used for teaching, it will be used for sharing knowledge, it will be used, to put something else, to add something, to add knowledge to people. Now, moving on the impact of publishing on the community. The most important thing, that by you publishing and increasing the number of publication, you are providing opportunities for the society to be leading in a citizen science. It means that if more people are publishing, it means that the society now is having a great opportunity to be leading in a certain science, in chemistry, in medicine, in engineering. Not to mention that the society being leader in a certain science, this will have economic benefits in terms of that many investment will come, many parts that will be interested to do scientific collaboration, and in addition, that many of the research will be like they want to be conducted at this society. By this, you are gaining public trust in science. A very nice and great example that you can all relate is the current situation of COVID-19. You see what happened. Now we're having this pandemic. Once the pandemic started, what happened? The countries that they are leading in the medicine and the medical science, in the research in the medical science, immediately they started working on the vaccine. You can see now there are maybe 4 or 5 vaccines, but all of them at the same time they started working on the vaccine. This what gave them. They gave them that these countries they are in control of the vaccine. Now everyone else want to buy this vaccine from them. They are having economic benefits, and because they've been doing this research for ages, and they have strong confidence in that, they have large publications in terms of that. This make them like they are leading in that field, and for sure they gain the public trust in science. To see how publication can affect you as a person, can affect the science community, and can affect the society. Okay, with all of this talking, all of these nice things, like how great is the publishing, how great is the research, I'm sure now everyone is excited to start writing a paper or start a research. But before start writing a paper or going through the research, it's very important to understand the publishing process. To me, I see understanding the process and how much time it takes, and how it's actually go. This will make the execution of the execution more efficient. It means that if you know that it should go through ABC, this by that you'll be able to follow, you'll be able to estimate, you will make the whole process more efficient. Okay, so let's say you're an author and you wrote a manuscript, a technical paper, we call it manuscript. So you will want to submit this manuscript. You need to include a cover letter, and then you submit it to a peer-reviewed journal. Okay, then once you submit your manuscript to the peer-reviewed journal, immediately it will be transferred to the editor of the journal. The editor at this stage, he can reject your manuscript under 2 cases. If it's out of scope, it means like you are doing a research, writing a paper, research for, let's say, in petroleum engineering, and you sent it to a journal that's mainly publishing research in biology. To them, this is out of scope. It's not the scope of the journal, so they will reject it. The second case, if you have high percentage of plagiarism. I think you are aware of the plagiarism, the copy-paste percentage, because once the manuscript is received, they will check it through online checker. They have special software for that, and then they will check the percentage. Up to 20% is acceptable. Above than 20%, it means that it need to be rejected. If your manuscript passed the editor, like it is in scope, and there is no plagiarism, so the editor will send your manuscript to minimum three to three. Sometimes they can be higher, but let's say in most of the cases they are three anonymous reviewers. These reviewers, actually, they should be people that they are aware about that topic and aware of the field of your interest, so they can actually review your work. So what will happen? The reviewers will be given a certain amount of time to review your work, and then they will come up with recommendations. See here, the reviewers, they don't have a decision. They're not the decision maker. The reviewers will only recommend. At the end, the decisions are only with the hand of the editor. Only the editor can decide whether to be accepted, whether to be rejected. So the reviewer, they will recommend. If all the reviewers, the three of them, they recommended the publication of this manuscript unaltered, it means that the manuscript is perfect. It doesn't need any modification at all. They will send back their recommendation to the editor. The editor will approve the manuscript, and then the paper will be accepted and will be available online. The second case, If the reviewers recommend the rejection, all of them, they recommend the rejection of this manuscript, they will send back to the editor. The editor immediately will reject the manuscript. If the reviewers, okay, they didn't reject, they didn't approve, but they have some concerns, they have either minor or major comments, they have like things need to be more clarifications, like at the current state, the manuscript at the current state, it's still not acceptable, and they don't recommend the publication how it is. But they believe that the author can modify it, revise it, and then it can be published. So they will send back the recommendation. The editor will send the comments of the reviewers again to the author. And then the author, he need to address to all the comments of the reviewers. He need to provide answers. He need to do modifications if required, if he's convinced that I need to change this, I need to modify this, I need to remove this, I need to add this, he will do. If he don't, like if he disagree, he can reply that he disagree. You know, always when you reply in a formal way and politely, you can, give your opinion in a nice way. Like he does not agree due to certain reasons. He will address all of these reasons, and then again he will send it back. It will go again through the same process. It will go to the editor will check it, and then again it will go to the reviewer. The reviewers will see if the answers, like that, they are satisfied with the answers of the author. Okay, if they're satisfied, they will recommend the publication, it will be published. If they are not satisfied, they will recommend the rejection, it will be rejected. If like still they have concern, again, it will go back to the editor, and the editor will return it back to the author. So these cycles of revision, it can take some times, but usually most of the time does not take more than 2 to 3 rounds. The maximum is 3 rounds. So like knowing the process, you can estimate like how much it can take. Like for example, when you submit your manuscript to the editor, it should stay with the editor for no more than 1 week. In most of the cases, no more than 1 week, and then it will be transferred to the reviewers. Like for example, if you are checking the status of your manuscript and 1 month passed, and you saw that the status that it's still with the editor, at that time you have the right to send an email to ask like what happened, why it's still with the editor. So you see, when you understand the process and like how long it should take each step, this it can save time, it can save effort, and it can save many things. Okay, so this is simply the publishing process. Okay, the things that you need to do to publish, you need to prepare a manuscript, as it can be seen. You prepare a manuscript, and something that I see it's very important before writing the manuscript is to select a journal. Okay, some people, they will say, I will write the paper first, and then at the end, I will just see, I will select a journal and then see which one is suitable, and then I will just send it to them. I see selecting the journal first. First of all, it does not take time at all. It does not take time at all. Second, to me, it's very beneficial. I will show you how. Okay, first for journal selection, you need to select the journal based on main 3 criteria, the discipline. Like for example, you want to publish something related to petroleum engineering, you need to select a journal that actually the scope is petroleum engineering. You don't go to a journal that the scope is biology. The second thing is the impact factor. The impact factor, the impact factor and also the quartile rank, these are, how you rank journals. Okay, the impact factor, it's about average citation, a published document in a journal received in the previous 2 years. See, it's all about the citation. So if each document in a journal receive high citation per 2 years, the journal will have high impact factor. It means like many people, they want to cite from this specific journal. This, will increase the rank of the journal. Also the quartile rank. But the quartile rank is discipline specific. Like for example, like a journal related to petroleum, it will be Q1 in the field of petroleum, but it will be Q4 in the field of biology. So it's specific to the discipline. Example, for example, I want to publish in journal in petroleum engineering. I can simply, I can just Google top journals petroleum engineering. Big list will come up. I can select like few, whatever, just by reading, I feel it's related to petroleum engineering. And then you can get the impact factor. The first first column of numbers is the impact factor. The second column is the quartile. So anything, any journal that it is Q1, it means it's excellent, you can publish in it. Avoid publishing in a journal that it's not Q1 in the field of your field. So how to get these impact numbers, this Q, all of these numbers, you can get them through websites like Web of Science, Scopus, and Kimago Institution Ranking. All of these, just you type in the search in the search engine, you type the name of the journal, or even type the discipline, and it will give you a list of the journals related to the discipline you are looking for, with everything, with the rankings and everything. Let's say out of these journals, okay, I selected Sbe Journal. I want to publish my paper in Sbe Journal. Okay, so how selecting the journal beneficial? Okay, I will show you. First, I selected Sbe Journal. It's natural that I go and check the website of Sbe Journal, okay? So this is the website of Sbe Journal. You can see in the website there are many useful information like about the journal, exclusive editor, the impact factor. Also here you can find like the most read articles, the most cited, and the recently published articles, many information. The most important one for me at the stage before writing is this tab, for authors. It says for authors. Okay, here there are many useful links uh, about peer review, publication policy, and also the submission manuscript. So by this you will get directly a link to the this is the submission link directly. Here you can create an account and how to log in, how to upload your manuscript. Also, again, you'll find information about the journal. Also here, time to first decision, 29 days. So it means that they are telling you that you will receive your first decision after revision after 29 days. So this, it will give you like more, more ideas. So I will go back slowly. I missed this part. Okay, so I was saying that when you know the time frame of any process, this will give you some kind of control. Like, for example, it says that you receive your first decision after 1 month. If 2 months or 1 month and a half passed and you didn't receive a decision, you can reply, you can send an email. Maybe there is a problem, maybe there is an issue, maybe something happened that no one is paying attention, but because and you sent an email, they noticed and immediately they fasten the process. So knowing the process and knowing each step of the process, how much it takes, it is very efficient. Okay, let's resume here. So the most important tab for author is this one. So this one, it will show you everything you need as an author to prepare your manuscript, the author resources. It will give you the policies and guidelines needed to prepare a technical paper for this specific journal. So this is what I was saying, that when you select your journal first, you can write your paper oriented to that journal, because each journal, it has a certain style, it has some guidelines in terms, figures, tables, referencing, and many things. When you know, like, what are the guidelines or what are the policies for this journal, this will help you to write your paper and to save time, instead of working on your paper and finalizing your paper, and then at the end, when you found that the format is not matching or something in the guidelines, something you need to change the format of the tables, of the figures, this will take from your time. So that's why I advise to select the journal first, And because this will save too much time and will make the process more efficient. And as you say, it doesn't take time at all, at all. So something else also, when you select the paper, let me pause first. When you select the paper, when you select the journal before writing your paper, and oh, sorry, and after visiting the website, something else that you can check the recently published articles. Because journals usually tend to change their styles from time to time, year to year. So when you check the most recently published article, this is from 2021, it means that this article, it been written under the latest format, the latest style. So, like for example, we'll check this one, the recently published article. Okay, this is Key et al. Congratulations, Key et al. For publishing this paper. Okay, so this paper, you can see here that you cannot access the paper here. You need permission. Or you need to pay to have subscription in one Petro so you can access this paper. But we are privileged that we are at SQ, so we have access to all of the publishers, to almost all of the papers. Not all, but let's say 80% of the publication we can access. So this is the way how to access if you are outside out campus, like off campus. But if you are at SQ at the campus through any PC that's connected with SQ network, just from Google, when you Google any paper or anything, immediately it will open. You don't have to go through all of this process. But let's say that you are at home, you want to do some research, you want to read, you want to do a literature survey, and you cannot access from home. So this is how to access from off campus. Like when you're at home, you go to the website of SQ, and then from SQ libraries. Okay, and then go to eJournals. Here, F-Campus Access. And then you enter your username and password, and then you sign in. This option, I didn't learn about this option till maybe first time I learned about this option when I was doing my MSc or maybe my PhD. If I knew that I can access the journals from home, not only from SQ, I can access the papers, this would help a lot at that time. So we go for one Petro, check all the e-journals, and then we'll go to one Petro. Okay, and then you paste the title. Okay, PC, it's PDF directly. They don't have that icon of get permission or that dollar sign because we have access. We have access to all of almost all of the publication or technical paper that we need. Let's say better to say that we need for our discipline. For our discipline, all of them we can access. Okay, so this is the paper. So when you check like a recently accepted paper, even before writing your technical paper, how this helpful? It will show you like how it's formatted. Like see when they are having the headings, it's not numbered. See summary, and instead of abstract, they just wrote summary. And see here, it's hanging the beginning of the text. So there are many, things that you can notice and you can take note of it before. For example, figures, it's fig, not figure. Even how the captions for the tables, all of these things you can learn by checking or take note of it by checking a recently accepted paper in the journal you selected. Okay, so now at this stage, I think we are aware about what is technical paper. and what are types of technical paper, what are the benefits of publishing, and what is the process of publishing, and how to select a journal to publish in. Now to the main important part, it is writing the technical paper. So first thing about to know about writing technical paper is to understand what is the structure of the technical paper and what exactly each part mean. Okay, so the structure of the technical paper. Okay, when you see this structure, I think you are familiar with this. Most of you, if you're all like you did labs, and you wrote lab reports at some stage, you'll see that this structure, title, abstract, introduction, methodology, results, the discussion of results, conclusions, acknowledgement, references, all of these like you did something similar in your lab reports. Okay, so what does each part mean? Title and abstract. Usually, the title and the abstract, it's like the first thing that would attract anyone. The title and the abstract should be the reason. Like when you see a title, when you read an abstract, like, why do I have to read this paper? It should convince you to read a certain paper. This is how strong the title and the abstract should be. It should make anyone who read the title and the abstract want to read the full paper. The introduction. Usually the introduction, it will answer these questions. What is known, like what's been done in the literature? What is unknown? What is still need to be done? Like the gap, and how and why we should fill this gap. Like why we should do this and how we should do this. The methodology part, it shows like what did you do, like what exactly you did to fill this gap. The results is what did you got after you conducted a certain methodology. And then discussion of the result is what is the significance of the result. It's like, okay, I got this result, and then, okay, so what, how this result will benefit me, how this result will fill the gap that it is available in the literature. That's there is a gap, there is a problem. How this results will solve the problem. And then the conclusion is how, see how the conclusion is different from the discussion of result. The conclusion, it should answer like how all of this is beneficial for us going forward, for the science going forward, for, research in this field to go forward. And then comes acknowledgement. I think you are aware about the acknowledgement. It's about thanking whoever helped you, supported you, and the referencing using the literature, citing or listing the literature you use. So while constructing your technical paper through this structure, you need to be able to answer all of these questions, all of them, each part. And then the shape of the structure, they call it the hourglass shape. The shape of the structure is always show how the things, or how the how the topics are going from broad to narrow, how going from general to specific. So even the introduction, it starts with something general, and then it goes specific, and then the methodology and the result, they will be specific. They're specific to you, and then the results and discussion, they start from specific because they are related to the results, and then you need to generalize your results, like how this will help us all to the conclusion. Okay, now we'll go through each part, starting with the title. Title, usually it should be something, as I told you, attractive, like something. The title, it should be like whoever read it will be attracted, who want to read this paper, and informative also at the same time, like attractive and informative. Also, you need to balance. It should be concise. Like informative, it means it has too much information, but at the same time, you don't want it to be long. So it should be concise to make it to make it easy for searching and indexing. Usually, long titles, when you try to search for it at the website and Google Scholar, you'll not find them easily. Or, for example, titles with hard words, with the words that like related to a place, related to a location, or something very specific. It's very hard to find them while searching online. Let's have an example. Everything makes sense with an example, with an actual example. If I have a topic, general topic, surfactant flooding, okay, so I want to have a title for my technical paper that is being mainly about surfactant flooding. I can go like surfactant flooding for enhanced oil recovery. Okay, this good. It looks like a nice title. Okay, it is easy for searching because it has many keywords. Like it has surfactant, enhanced oil recovery, flooding. Like all of these keywords. Like if many people if they Google it, it will come. Like anyone Google enhanced oil recovery, maybe they will get this title. They will get this paper. But this at the end, it is what you call it. It's not informative. Like it shows that the work it's about surfactant flooding. It's about and surfactant flooding. It's enhanced oil recovery, but doesn't give any details or information about like what exactly you did and what kind of results you're expecting. Let's try again. Effective surfactant concentration on IFT for enhanced oil recovery. It's also nice and it's like see the first one it's part of the second one, but see here when we included like effects like okay we investigate concentration and we investigate the IFT, and so you when you read you will expect that okay in the paper there will be IFT results and they will be targeting concentration, okay, and then this will be related to enhanced oil recovery. So it's not just surfactant flooding for enhanced oil recovery. So you know how this is how you know to be like attractive and informative at the same time with keeping it short and concise. Usually, you know, in most of the cases, like if you want to come up with an attractive title of your technical paper, you know, just put the main keywords like surfactant, oil, IFT, something like this, keywords of your work, and then try to have combination of these keywords. By that, you will get an attractive title. Okay, now we move to the abstract. Abstract, you know, is very important. Why is it very important? You yourselves just like maybe 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, you saw, you know, most of the people, not most of the people, like most of the researchers, they have access only to the abstract. If you want to open any paper, if you don't have access to that paper, like in our case, we are privileged that we have access to all of the papers through SQ, but not many people as privileged as us. Not many people have access to the scientific paper or technical papers. So they have access only to the title and the abstract. So from reading the abstract, you know, they should like get the full idea of the paper. So the abstract is actually a shortened version of the paper. And you know the importance of the abstract that it should be written in a way that whoever read the abstract, just from reading the abstract, will want to read the full paper. Because okay, like this looks interesting, this work is interesting, I want to know more. I want to know more about this topic. To simplify, okay, how to construct an abstract. As we said, it's a shortened version of the paper, so it should answer the following question. What were the objectives of the study? So objective. How the study was done? So methodology. What results were obtained? Results. What were the significance of the results? So how is this significant? It's the discussion of the results and the conclusion. Okay, so to construct your abstract, you need to cover all of these questions, which are the questions covered over the full paper. Example, again, surfactant flooding. We came up with a title. So now let's try to construct an abstract. Okay. In this study, effective surfactant concentration on the interfacial tension was investigated. Okay. Objective. What were the objectives of the study? This is one. Okay, and pay attention that when you have like abbreviation like interfacial tension, when you first introduce the abbreviation, you should introduce it full, and then into between parentheses, you introduce the abbreviation at first time only. Okay, let's continue. The surfactant solution was prepared at different concentration, 0.1 to 2.8%, using formation prime. The IFT measurement were conducted against heavy crude oil at temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is how the study was done. This is 2. Okay, let's go 3. Results revealed that there exists an optimal concentration at which ultra-low IFT was obtained. The IFT increased at concentrations higher than the optimal concentration. Okay, this is results. This is number 3. Let's continue. The results indicate that more oil recovery can obtain at lower cost when surfactants injected at optimal concentration. This is the significance of the results, which is like the discussion and the conclusion, which is number 4. And this is how to write an abstract as simple as that. If you like put in your mind that the steps is 1, 2, 3, 4, like I need to address all of these. Of course, it doesn't have to be one sentence per each. No, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4. It depends on the number of analysis you conducted, the number of factors you are covering, and the number of results. Like if you had like many experiments, you will have for sure 2 to 3, 3 to 4, even 4 sentences just for results. And even for the methodology, like if you use different, here we used like in this example only IFT measurement and the preparation. If you have more, for sure it will be more sentences. How long, how short the abstract should be? The abstract should be in the range between 200 to 400. So, and it should be one full paragraph. This is about abstracts. When you divide it into the steps and understanding each sentence or each step, what exactly to write, what exactly to address, this will make it very easy to write. Now we'll move to the introduction. Usually, most of the people, they suffer with the introduction, and most of the problems occur during the introduction. Okay, introduction, as we said before, like it should answer 3 questions. What is known? What is unknown? And how and why we should fill the gap between the known and the unknown. Usually, what is known and what is unknown, this is you cover it in the introduction by reporting results and conclusions of previously published studies, by doing your literature survey. How and why we should fill the gap. From this, you introduction by stating your objectives and the hypothesis. And usually, after the at the end of the introduction, when you state your objective, at this point you can move to the methodology. It will be like, we'll work on this, and then this move to the methodology that using this and this and this. Okay, let's have an example to make everything clearer or more clear. The same example, surfactant flooding. Okay, so I want to start to write like an introduction about surfactant flooding. Okay, I want to start what is known. Usually you should start from known to unknown and then to state the problem. So even in what is known, I need to start from general to specific. It is easier if you have like, if you taking points, if you have if you like headings, subheadings, like you prepare you construct the introduction, and you have the points ready, and then you write based on that. So like I want to write an introduction about surfactant flooding. For sure, at the beginning, I will start talking about oil recovery. In general, oil recovery. It will not take much, 2, 3, 4 sentences maximum. And then from oil recovery, I will go to enhanced oil recovery. Like there are primary, there are secondary, and then there is enhanced oil recovery. And then enhanced oil recovery, there are different types. There are chemical, there are thermal, there are miscible, and then I will move to surfactant flooding. It's part of the chemical flooding. And then from the surfactant flooding, like I will explore more. Like what is surfactant flooding? What is the mechanism of surfactant flooding? Okay. What are the types of surfactant used? Okay. What are the studies related to surfactant done? What are the studies of surfactant, but just focus on IFT, because I want the topic I choose is IFT, surfactant flooding, but to focus on IFT. Okay, so this is how I reach to the surfactant IFT studies. So like try when you reach the point of getting more specific, try to focus on the studies related to your work only. Okay, so I reached to the surfactant IFT study. I will focus only on the surfactant IFT studies. I found many research, many published work, many nice published work, but I didn't find like publication or studies of investigating the surfactant IFT against heavy oil. Most of them, all of them, whatever I found is against light oil. None was against heavy oil. And for sure, no one explored the effect of surfactant concentration of the IFT against heavy oil. Okay, this is what is unknown to me in my case. And for sure, this all just an example. It's not in in real case. There are studies on IFT against heavy oil. This is an example. Let's say like this is the situation. This is what I found. So from here, like I narrowed my introduction, narrowed my literature. I reached to the point that I found what is unknown. So I need to fill the gap between what is published, what to need to be done to reach to the full picture. I need to do work on heavy oil, on surfactant using heavy oil. This will lead me to my objective. So the objective of my work to study the effect of concentration. I will select concentration on IFT, surfactant IFT against heavy oil. And this is how to write an introduction. Always start from general to specific. And an introduction shouldn't be long. Like a good introduction, just 2 pages. Like don't stress yourself that, oh, I need to cover everything, because you will never be able to cover everything or to explore. Like if you just talk about oil recovery, maybe it's endless. If you will talk about just in-house, it is endless. You just start by introducing each topic by briefly presenting like whatever, like the topic before, like briefly presenting oil recovery, briefly presenting in-house oil recovery, and then surfactant flooding briefly. And then when you are in the surfactant region, this is like your scope. Now start to go like being more specific and have more work and present more work, what you call write about more work and include more work related to that topic. And then put it in a sequence that till you reach, but like many studies have been done in this field. However, no studies were done against. How to reach this, what you call the link between this, is, for example, you will say a group like someone et al. They found that there is an optimal concentration for IFT and with crude oil of this API. And then you will say, however, none experienced or none conducted a study that investigate the impact of concentration on crude oil with lower API. Therefore, the objective will be 1, 2, 3. So this is how to go, or how to construct an introduction. And as I said, you shouldn't write. It shouldn't be long. A long introduction, it will make the reader get bored. The introduction, it should give what the reader needs. It should give like whoever read it, like he will have a good background that when he reads the remaining of the paper, when he see your result, he will understand and he can relate to your results. Doesn't have to be all types of results or all types of work or research done for surfactant. Like when he reads your result and your discussion, he knows the background of the field you are working on, of the topic you are working on. So you need to build a case. Okay, so as I told you, usually the introduction is like the hardest part because it needs lots of like editing, writing, rewriting, and even the sequence of information, because you need the information to flow and without feeling that there is a gap in the middle. Building a case, like telling a story. It should be like telling a story. And also introduction, why it is the hardest, because most of the writing, grammar, spelling, all of these spelling mistakes, all kind of mistakes, most of the time it's discovered in the introduction, because you write like it's the longest section usually that include only writing. Okay, so I will show you an example of how to take how to cite an an information or from a technical paper or from the literature, and how to avoid even doing a mistake, because as I told you, most of the grammar mistake and the spelling mistake. And not only that, like most of the plagiarism, it's coming from the introduction. So this is an example. I want to look for resources, for references to write my introduction. Okay, you can go to Google Scholar. As you can see here, I typed keywords, surfactant, concentration, IFT, oil recovery, all keywords. So if your title, like the keywords included in your title, the chances of your publication to appear in the search, like in the default search, it is higher, and this, make exposure, more exposure for your paper. Okay, like I got these references, and then I like this one. I want to check this one, to read this one. Okay, it feels like it's related. Interfacial tension, ultra low. As you can see here, I have access only to the abstract, but it's okay. From the abstract, I can get information also. And then I reach here, and this information. I want to use this information. I want to use this sentence. So don't ever copy and paste. Like most of you will say, okay, I will copy and paste it, and then again I will edit it. Try not to do this. And then, because first you will forget this, you got it from which reference, because you need to cite, especially that it has numbers. So you need to cite. Let me pause a little bit. And then you will have many sentences that need connection, and then at some point it will be very hard to connect all of this into one nice paragraph with everything. The information is flowing nicely. It is very hard. Also, when you copy and paste, after some time you will forget if you took it as it is, or if you change something, you will forget that this is, I took it as it is, I copied from the from the reference. So avoid to copy and paste, because most likely you will, even if you want to edit it, you will get some some plagiarism due to the copy and paste. So this sentence, okay, I liked it. It says, in addition, ultra-low IFT were obtained at surfactant concentration as low as 0.001%, making the use of this surfactant enhanced oil recovery extremely cost-effective. Okay, I want to use this one into my literature. Okay, I want to report that I got this ultra-low IFT at this very low concentration. What I did, I rewrote the whole thing in a way that it's continuous. How is that? In most of the studies, ultra-low IFT was obtained at surfactant concentration higher than 0.1%. However, it was reported that AES surfactant would reduce the IFT to ultra-low levels at very low concentration of 0.001%. See, I didn't have to copy and paste. No, I know, while I'm writing, immediately I'm including the information, like, with the flow of the paragraph. So having pasted paragraph from here and here and here, and then you feel that it's easier, but to me, from experience, it's not easier. It's easier if you rewrote it yourself once you read it. It's much easier. Okay, so now I wrote here. It's okay. We agree that I paraphrased, but it was reported, and I included a results of other group. So I need to cite. See, I need to cite that paper, that manuscript. So how to cite the manuscript? It should be cited at the end here. I include the first author name, and then et al, and then the year, and then I close the parenthesis. So, but there is a much easier way, a very useful tool for citation and for referencing. Like if you are including it, using it from the beginning of writing, at the beginning, this will save a lot. So how to use this one? It's the EndNote. How to use the EndNote? Okay, I went here to the Google search page. This is the paper, the reference I used. Okay, so see here, see this icon, the citation icon. Cite. Here it will show me how to cite this paper, different styles. Okay, so and here at the end, how to cite using different tools. One of them is the EndNote. So you press the EndNote, and then the citation, it will be downloaded in EndNote format. And then you open it, and it will be inserted in the EndNote. This is the EndNote software. This is the EndNote tool. Okay, so the downloaded citation, it's now here in EndNote. As you can see, all the information is presented here, and even you can add, you can modify. Maybe something is missing, maybe something is wrong. Sometimes, maybe you want to add date. You can adjust, you can modify in the EndNote, and you can have as much as references as you need. So what I will do, I will so once you download EndNote, you will have an EndNote tab in Word. This one, the tab. You go to Insert Citation, and then you write the name of the first author of the reference you need to cite, find, because you have like a database of references inside your EndNote. Okay, I want the first one, and then insert. Okay, see, it's already inserted. Audia et al. 2006. This is inserted in text, and this is in the list, in the bibliography. Okay, this because this is it was a blank page with no headings, so I can just put it, place it down. I can what you call it? I can even write like the heading. This is the references section. Okay, and then I will show you, like, maybe I want to add another reference. This is an example, like if adding another reference, how it will appear like this. And see, even the order in terms of year. Usually you start, if you have list, let me pause. If you have a list of references, you want all of them to be included in the text together as a group. What you will do first, you start ordering them from early to what you call it, from early to early like from recent, early to recent. Okay, so and then here, like Audia it al, like if the group of researcher more than two, so you only report the first, or the first will be reported, and the remaining like the remaining of the group. If they were only two persons, like for example Audia and this Al Shibli, okay, so it will be Audia and Al Shibli 2006. So, but by this, by this tool, this been included all automatically. So this saves a lot of effort and a lot of time. And also, one of the advantage of the EndNote, I can like break the page, so it's in a different page, the references section. So the advantage is like this is the format. The style I use is the style of Society of Petroleum Sbe Journal, because I want to publish, I want to submit my paper in Sbe Journal. So in EndNote, also the styles of the journal, they are saved inside. So like if you're writing a paper for this journal, you just select the journal, and immediately it will be formatted to the journal style. Also, this is very beneficial. And then how also beneficial, if for example, if you wanted to change, like I don't want to publish in this one, I will publish in another one. Okay, just change the journal, the style immediately will be changed. Okay, they were closed, let's try numbered. I want just numbered. See, it got changed to numbered, like all by just a click. Imagine like if you wrote a paper that first, let me pause here. Imagine that you wrote a paper that has maybe 50 references, and already you included all of them in text and in the list, reference list and everything. And then at some point you decided to change the journal. You have to change the format. And if you like input them manually, you have to do all of this manually. But here with the EndNote, just by a click, you can change from style to style. So this one, it shows that, for example, if the style here, it's not in the list, there is the first option is select style. So it will take you to the directory of EndNote. Here, all the styles of all the journals and all categories and all fields are included here. So you can select from them. Okay, this is regarding EndNote and an example like how to be more effective and efficient in writing your introduction and try to avoid copy and paste and try to embed each information within the flow of the what you call the flow of the introduction. Also, another useful tool is Turnitin. Turnitin actually you can upload your paper manuscript and it can check for copy and paste. It can check how much plagiarism included in your how much percentage you have in your manuscript, and then it will give you the sentences that this sentence it is matching with another sentence from another publication, another published work. By this, you can decrease the percentage of plagiarism by just checking it through Turnitin before submitting it to the journal. And like doing this, you are sure that you will pass the editor. Okay, so this is all about the introduction. Okay, methodology section, materials and methods in some cases they call it. So methodology simply, it's a section that you should give in all the necessary details and information that it is sufficient for another research to duplicate your work. Okay, in other words, like you need to give the details of everything you've done, so you will make it easier to other researcher, whoever reads your paper, he can duplicate your work. This is through like providing all the assumption, hypothesis. In case, of course, if it's a theoretical paper, it has some modeling, it has some simulation, you have to include all of these materials, all of the materials, and also the experimental procedure. Like in our example, the surfactant flooding, like you need to, in the methodology section, you need to include the chemicals, properties, surfactants, crude oil, brine, surfactant preparation procedure, exactly how you prepare the surfactant solution, the IFT measurements, conditions, and procedure, like at what temperature, at what condition you did the IFT measurement, what is exactly the procedure you followed. So anyone, like he can go get the same surfactant you use, prepare it with the same procedure you done, and do IFT measurement exactly the same as you do, and then he can compare his result with your results. This is simply the methodology part. Methodology usually it is the easiest part of the paper, because things that already you done it yourself, so you know how writing it is very easy. Like you can list the chemicals easily, write the procedure easily, no problem in that. Now, okay, to the results section. Here we'll show the results section, and there is a discussion of results section. But nowadays, most of the papers actually they have the results and discussion section together. It's as one section. They don't have just results section and then discussion section. All of them, both of them, they are embedded together. So the results, it's a summary. If it's a results section only, it's a summary of the results in forms of text, figures, and tables. You shouldn't give any explanation in this section. If it says only results, you shouldn't give explanation. You should just state the results. So through text, through figures, and tables. So for making figures and drawing figures, there are two beautiful, useful tools, Sigma Plot and the Origin Pro. These two softwares, they have many options, and you can plot more advanced figures using these two tools. Sigma Plot, we have it. You have it in our computer in SQ. I think also we have the license. Origin Pro, I'm not sure. I use Sigma Plot. It's a very beautiful tool, and it's mainly for scientific making scientific figures. Like it can do things that Excel cannot do. Okay, now example of the figures and tables. For example, we have the results of the IFT, okay, versus concentration, and you can present the results of the IFT two formats, either figure or table. You cannot use both. This is very important. You cannot present the same results, or in the results section, you cannot present the same results in figures or table. You need to choose. either figure or table, one of them. Usually, in most of the cases, the table is more preferable. Why? Because the table, it gives exactly the numbers, because here, like, I can read the number, when it's in paper format, you cannot exactly know this point what, or this point what, or this point what. But in the table, uh, the values are here included, so it's preferable always to present the results in tables. But in the case that presenting the results with the figure, it gives a better visual presentation, you go for the figure. It's like there is an interesting point, there is an interesting relationship, something that only by the figure it can be shown clearly. Like here in the table, just if you concentrate at the numbers, like try to concentrate, you will notice that there is a decreasing trend and then increasing trend with the concentration. But with the figure, it's clear and doesn't need much focus, and it is very apparent, this is how to the caption. And then how to how to present, or how to present your results in text. So you can go by the simplest way, just say the results shown in fig 1, or fig 1 shows, and that's it, and continue by stating the main the main observation, that the IFT decreases and then increases with increasing concentration. And then you need always to refer to the figure or even the table as fig 1, fig 2, fig, like this. You cannot say like shown in the figure to the left, shown in the figure above, shown in the figure after. You always need to refer to the figure by its caption number. Okay, fig and the number only. This is thing. And also you need to introduce the figure in the text. Like you cannot like talk or explain the results in here without mentioning fig 1. You need always to mention the figure in the text. Okay, so this is about results. Uh, Usually, this is, I think, all about the results. This section, okay. Now we move to discussion of results. So the previous section, you introduced the results without explaining why or how or what is, like what is the benefit of any of these results, just stating the results and the general relationships. So now, in the discussion of results section, you need to explain what the results mean. Like, okay, we said that IFT increases and then decreases. There is an optimal IFT, optimal concentration at which IFT is the minimum, that point where it's the minimum. Then you can say an example, for example, like explaining like what does this mean. You can say that the results presented in fig 1 suggest that higher oil solubilization occur at the optimal concentration. So this is what it means. When the IFT is lowest, it means that more oil solubilization, and this, if you continue, it means more oil recovery. This is like how to explain, not just to say that lower IFT. And now you need to add, like, okay, we already mentioned that we have this result. Okay, and then what? Like how this result is related to the bigger objective, because here we have a bigger objective, that is to improve oil recovery. All of this we done is for a bigger objective. Okay, then also in the discussion of results section, you need to be able to tell why this result differ than previously reported work. Okay, because simplest way is to go for example. You can say something like this: in the previous studies, the IFT of surfactant was measured against light oil, while in this study, the IFT was measured against heavy oil. That explains the results variation. See, some sentences, some like sentence opening, some terminologies, you can always, use them. Like, like there is a certain what you call it, certain format. Like if you're, like adapt yourself on it. Okay, I presented the result, I said this, I stated the relationship. Now I will say like this suggests this means this, and then I will say, okay, this is different than the previously because of this. Try to build a system or a sequence of a flow of information, how like results showing, and then what does it mean, and then why it's different. Okay, and even the variation, it could be something as simple as they used light oil, I used heavy oil. And then at the same point, you need also to support your results with resources from the literature. It's always good, like if you found like someone did have or had results similar to your results or part of your results, this will give more confidence to your results. Okay, for sure you will not have that it's a complete match, that your results or your work is matching someone else published work or results, no. But at some point, at least one part, it is similar, but you have, or you observed something extra, or you observed something more, or you took, you meet at some point, and then you diverted, both of you diverted different ways. So like, for example, if you want to support your research or your results with the literature, you can try like something like this. You say similar results were reported, for example, by Audia et al. As simple as this. So like this is how always you go. As I told you, in nowadays what you call it, papers, the results and discussion, it's one section, it's not separate, it's just one section. So I separated them because for the sake of giving each one, like explaining each one alone and to differentiate between them. So I say I'll present my results, okay, and then this behavior suggests this, okay, this is the suggested behavior. It was different than that person, like who did something similar, but it's different, okay, and this due to the variation, due to different types of crude oil or different types of chemicals, okay, and then I will continue explaining, and then the overall, like for example, one point or maybe one trend, maybe the optimal, similar results were reported by Audia et al. Like this. Okay, so usually, the conclusion, you'll find yourself that you already mentioned the conclusion in your discussion of results, because when you discuss, you will reach a conclusion within your discussion. So in the conclusion section, you are just, like what you call it, like listing whatever you already mentioned in the discussion section. But very important part is that the conclusion should be limited only to the results that your data can actually support. What does this mean? It means that in your discussion, like you have results, set of results. You are explaining like why is this, and what is the fact, and what is the theory behind this, and what is the mechanism behind this. There are things that your results can answer. Okay, and you explain it based on your results, that your results can support this phenomena you are proposing or this relationship you are proposing. Your results support that. But maybe part of the results doesn't support. Like you have something that you cannot explain from your results. At that point, you will have to go to the literature to read, to see what is the possible explanation of that part. And then you will find explanation from a study of conducted by someone else in that part that you cannot explain, and then you will include this. So that part that you already speculate or you explained it based on others results or others what you call it publication, like at the end you see that it's possibly due to that. It's not like you are sure because you didn't do that thing. It is possibly due to whatever results or phenomena like this group presented or reported. So that part you cannot list it as a conclusion. Your conclusion should be limited only to the results that it is supported by your results, to the results that's supported by your data only. So, and then this is the conclusion. Some of them, they consider the conclusion, it's like an abstract, but it's written in a different format. Because some of them, some of them writing the conclusion, they need to give like what you call it, a sentence about what actually been done. So it's like an abstract in different formats. Similar, it's very similar to the abstract. And then at the end of the conclusion, you need to suggest future direction for research. You need to put some recommendations. Having recommendation, this means that, you know, it should give opportunities for people to continue on your work, even for you, for your group to continue at the same direction. Also, you know, it's good that it means that it opened a door, or it opened, you know, a new route for research to go for, like something, you know, different route. You opened a different route to continue, something to build on. This is for the conclusion, okay? And you know that like most of the people, when they write their technical paper, they start with the conclusion, because, you know, when you write your technical paper, you've done your you finished with your research, you have your results, you have your what you call it, you have your conclusion. So it is the easiest thing to them, because you need to list the conclusion, like I got this and this and this. And it can be as point format. It doesn't have to be paragraph format like the abstract. The abstract, it should be in paragraph format, but the conclusion, it can be sorry, as a point format. So to them, it's the easiest to start with the conclusion, where they are more confident. And then for sure the results section should be ready, because how you got your conclusion after you analyzed your data, and after you draw all of your figures, and prepared all of your tables, all of these things. And then most of them, imagine, they keep the abstract till the end, because, you know, after you construct the whole paper, and then it comes the abstract. It's like a mini version of the paper. So usually the abstract it is the first section, but most of the people, they keep it till the end. Okay, so for reference, after the conclusion, you need to list references, all the references you cited in your paper, in either in the text or text. Even sometimes you can include reference even in the caption of the figure. So all the references at the end, should be listed in alphabetical order. Okay. Like in our case, if I go for the format of Sbe Journal, it's in alphabetical order, or numbered according to the sequence of appearance in the paper. Like the first one appeared, it will go number one, the second, and like this. So for this one, using Endnote from the beginning, while writing, at the beginning of writing, from the beginning, using Endnote, this will keep you, this will make you will never worry about the reference. You will never worry about the reference and formatting the reference, because believe me, formatting the reference is very hard. If not using a tool, it takes too much time, and there is big chance for making mistakes. If you are doing it manually, for sure, there is a chance for making mistakes. Imagine listing all of these references, and then you need to follow the certain format of the reference, even in the list. Like, is it the author names first? Is it the abbreviation first? Is the year at the end? Is the year in the middle? Is the journal title at the beginning? Because and then if you change to another journal, it's completely different. So I really advise that to use Endnote. There are many softwares, many tools to make our life easier. Think about it. You shouldn't spend time or waste time on something like formatting a references, where you have a tool that you can do it with a click. Imagine all of that time you're spending on doing the references manually. You can use it in doing something better. Think about it this way. We have tools to make our life easier. So you need to check. Like at each step, at each stage, during writing your paper, you need to check what are the tools available that it can help me. It can facilitate the process. Okay, so till this point, we covered all the structure of the whole parts of the structure of the technical paper. Now I'll talk about publishing ethics. Publishing, the publishing ethics are very important. There are many publishing ethics. These are the main, or some of them. The first one is that you prepared your manuscript, you wrote your paper. You need, to make sure before submitting that manuscript that You didn't publish it anywhere else. Sometimes, like what they do, like they have one single manuscript, one single paper, okay, like they believe that they want to increase the chance of it to get published. They will send exactly the same to different journals at the same time. Okay, so that when the first one in the first journal it's under review, and that one it's under review, so that one they will never know that it's sent there, because it will never appear. It will appear only after it got accepted. And then at some cases, like both of them, they got accepted. So what they do, like with the same content, they just change a little bit the title, they change a little bit in the like few things, but the core, the main part, body, the results, everything is the same. And this is wrong. And this is wrong. It's very, very, very important to know about the publishing ethics and what is wrong and what is right. Because by this, it's kind of cheating. And you know that ethics is very important, and there are like ethics, it's in all disciplines. So also in publishing ethics, this is the first one, and to me it's the most important one. Also, the second one, that you always need to inform the journal, like you submitted your work to a journal, it got published or something. You need to inform them if you found an error in your research, like a major error in your research, because imagine the size of the responsibility. You publish something, okay, you're stating something, you're saying something. You know that thousands of people at the end, they will read your work, they will build researcher based on your work. Okay, like they will utilize your work, maybe they will use it in teaching. And imagine if there is something wrong and big error in the results you are publishing. Or for example, like there is something that it's wrong and it's like it's not fitting, but you hid it somehow. Okay, it will pass, it will get published, okay, no harm. No, there is a big harm, because imagine the number of people, 1,000 people, researchers, that they will follow your steps, that they will take your work as a reference in their research, and then things they will design it based on your results. They will build on your results, and they don't know that the foundation, or the what they are building on, it's actually wrong and it's an error. So by this, you are destroying, what you call it, years of effort in the future. You don't know how many people can suffer from something like this. So everyone should be responsible. It's responsibility, a big responsibility, because whatever you will publish, you should put in mind that that's it. It is published. Everyone will read. Everyone will use. Everyone will build on it, and we know you'll state facts based on it. So you should be 100, not 100. Let's say you should be like doing your best, like okay, doing your best to do everything correct, to justify everything by scientific facts. You should be like sure to, like till the maximum you can about the results you are publishing. Okay, and then one of also the publishing, it is declare any conflicts of interest. If anyone having conflicts of interest, this that it can impact the publishing, you should declare it at the beginning. Like for example, you want to publish, okay, you are one of, because okay, you will get something out of it, or like one of, what you call it, one of the authors, it's someone related to you or something like this, or maybe the editor is related to you, or someone in the editorial board is related to you. You need to declare any conflicts of interest. And then finally, you need to include appropriate acknowledgements and funding statement in the manuscript. You need always to thank whoever provided you with funds, whoever provided you with support. This is very important, and to me, like it's one of the main ethics, to always be appreciative to whoever helped you, whoever supported you, whoever contributed in your work. You should always include that in the manuscript. Okay, so at the end of this workshop, I don't know how much time we took. It's already 9:35. Okay, so one question. Are you ready now to write a technical paper? I hope yes. So by this, I end that workshop. And anyone has question? we can discuss. And whoever has a question, I want him first to answer. Are you ready to write a technical paper? Oh, okay. Editor is the publisher. Is always manuscript. Okay, there are some questions. Okay, nice. What is the difference between technical paper and literature review? Okay. So, do you want me first to start by answering the question in the comment section?
I think yes, Doctor.
Okay,
Maissa.
so first question by Huda Al-Hadrami. What is the difference between technical paper and literature review? Okay, the literature review, it's actually a part of the technical paper. You know, it's not like a literature review, it's something, and the technical paper, it's something. The literature review, even if it's a review paper, the literature review, it's a process. It can be a heading, like you can have, like some people, what they do, they will have abstract, summary abstract, and then introduction, and then, okay, if like they feel that they want to elaborate more on the literature, they will have a heading, says literature review. No one can like tell them no, why, because because there is some flexibility, although there is a non-structure, but there is some flexibility. Introduction, you can include a literature review section, even if it's a review paper. A review paper, usually it's a whole literature review. Literature review, it's a process, and it's a process you do to write your introduction, because the scope, it's not on the review. The scope is, it's an experimental research, so that is the main. If it's a review paper, so the review paper, it has an abstract, and then it doesn't have an introduction, or maybe a brief introduction, and then the body, all, it's a literature review. There is no discussion of results, no results, and then at the end, the conclusion. I don't know if I think maybe you're talking about paper, right? And review paper. So review paper, literature review, it's actually a process. Okay, Muhammad Al Muqimi. Could we get money from publishing? Actually, I don't know. I wish I can. Okay, I think so like what I know that, for example, in SQU, what you call it, like whoever published from SQU, like the university, I don't know which department exactly, but I remember at 1 year, like there is a list came for the all, like like I don't appreciate, I think for all the faculty members, students, whoever published, okay, under the name of SQU, like, and then depending on in which journal, if it's the journal following Web and Science, or there is certain journal, like it should be indexed journal in Web and Science or in Scopus. They will give for each publication 500 Omani Riyal at that time. Then the amount, it's distributed over the authors. Like if it's 6 authors, each one, the money distributed, divided by 6. But like the process of publishing, like when you send the manuscript, no, you're not getting anything. And actually you shouldn't, because when you publish, you should be, for the greater, what you call, the greater benefit, for helping the society, for, like this is, this is the main objective of publishing. That one, it will come, when it will come, when like you are in a very advanced stage, when you can have your own research team, when you can, you can attract what you call it, attract investors, attract companies maybe, to come to you to say, we want you to do this research for us, and we want to like to be an investigator, we want to do a research for us, and this is will provide you with this fund. At that point, when you reach that level, when you are in a position that you are an investigator, and then you can have your own research, you can have collaboration with companies, with you having funds. You hear about this TRC fund, for example, the council and ijad and many things. All of these, they are funding projects, like you are getting what you call it, you're writing proposal, you're getting fund to do, for example, a certain work in a topic, and part of the fund, it will have salaries, it will have allocation for like for researchers, for what you call it, instrumentation. Yeah, at that time, yeah, that's the only money you can get. But just by sending what you call the manuscript and this, no, you cannot get. Okay, you are most welcome. Okay, let's start, and then we can. unmute, you can. The end of the workshop. Unmute. In slide 6, editor is the publisher. Editor? No, editor, see, the publisher, usually the term publisher, like for example, there is this publisher, it's called Elsevier. Elsevier, it's a publisher. Under Elsevier, there are many journals, like many journals. And then for each journal, there is an editor for a journal. But the term publisher, it's actually like the journal, it goes under the publisher, for example, Elsevier. And there are journals like go under Springer. Like there are publishers, and then there are journals in the publisher, like the publisher for different journals. Each journal, it has an editor. And then the editor, actually, it's the decision, as I told, he's the decision maker. Like for example, he will decide this to be published or not. It's a decision at the end in his hand. Like some of the cases, the reviewer will recommend something. Like maybe 2 reviewers, they accepted. 1 reviewer, he rejected. And then the editor, he will not just go by it. No, he will see, like, for example, what are the reasons why this reviewer is rejecting? Are the reasons valid? Is it fair? And then he will make his decision based on that. So the decision in his hand, and you can say, like, in terms of decision for publication or not, he decided. But the term publisher, like there is a publisher. For example, when you check some of the journal, you will see this for example, Elsevier, it's a publisher. Like like in book publishing, there is a publisher, like you see in the book. The publishing, it's like matba'a, كأنه something like this. Okay, this is the publisher, and editor, like the author is something, and the editor who edited the book, and then the publisher who published, the published and the edition. Something similar to this. Is it always manuscript mean the whole paper? Yeah, manuscript is the whole paper. If you want to go for peer review, there are different things. There are, for example, conference paper, and there are journal paper. For the conference paper, they ask you only to submit the abstract, and then they will decide to publish your paper later after you present it in a conference. Based on the abstract only, they don't ask for the full paper. That's why, like the journal paper has more strength, because the journal paper, it goes through tough revision. Like, at the end when it's published, that it went through like at least two reviewers in addition to the editor. And it's been, like strong, like very, very tough revision. And many times, like many cycles and many editing, all of this before it comes out online. So this, make the journal paper more, like stronger. That's why you need to send the full paper. They need to see the full paper, and that's why they will see this peer reviewed. It means that before publication it got reviewed. Unlike the the conference paper. Can technical paper be a case study? Yeah, of course. A case study is one form of a technical paper. Because the technical paper, as like the word technical paper, it's just say, like, it's a definition of a document. It's a document that describe a process, results. So it can be for a case study. Okay, I think it's still down. Okay, this is the end of the questions from here. Case study.
So,
Okay.
guys, if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic, or you can type it in the chat box. So we can decide to end the workshop or not.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
Do editor and the reviewers are working together, like in the same organization? And also, about my first question, So basically, can you give an example of an SPE? Is it like, for example, if I have a paper right now, should I send it to the SPE and this will be as an editor and then they will send it to our reviewers, like
Yes.
separate reviewers?
Yes.
Uh, this question for now.
Okay. So the first question, are they the same organization? No. The answer to that is no. The editor, it's actually in the editorial board. It's like in the main office of the journal. Okay, each journal, it has an editorial board and number of editors, and they have an office. The reviewers actually, you know what happened? The editor, when he receive a manuscript, okay, first he will check for plagiarism, and then he will see the scope. Okay, everything pass, and then okay, he will send invitations to reviewer. The reviewers actually, you know, because there is one thing: when you submit a manuscript, you provide suggestions, like you suggest a certain number of reviewers. Let's say 6, 7, 8. They will ask you, do you have someone in mind? Because you know, usually it is good that someone that has a great big knowledge in the field you are working on to review your work. Because you know, if someone doesn't have big knowledge, or he has, you know, he roughly knows about the topic, if he reviewed your work, maybe he will not understanding properly, maybe he will miss something, maybe he will like, you know, judge that this is not correct based on how he see things, or his, you know, understanding. You need someone that, you know, he working exactly in the same field. This will be good, like for your paper to have a proper revision. So he will ask, usually they will ask to what you call it, suggestion for reviewers. The suggestion for reviewers, you suggest any person, any author, like anyone, any person, any researcher, anyone published before, work similar to your work. You just list it there with their email. And then the editor, he can goes by the list or select from the list, or he can have his own list of authors. He will send invitations like for people, and they will wait for anyone to accept. Like he will send to 5, maybe 3 they will accept, 2 will decline because they don't have time, you know, because reviewing, it's a time consuming and it needs concentration. So at the end, yeah, people not in what you call it, not in the same organization. I reviewed one manuscript one time, like what you call it, from one of the journal. I received one journal for revision, for manuscript for revision, for on paper for revision, and it's not from the same organization. Okay, this is one. The second question, it's about yes, when you submit to SPE, you remember in the video that first link, and that link, you when you go submission, and then it will take you immediately to the submission link, where the window you have to create an account, you have to enter your username and password, and then everything, you know, the steps are clear. You reach a point, there is a icon, you press new submission, and you submit, and you just upload your what you call it, upload your manuscript. And then when it's uploaded through the system, it will go to the editor automatically, and then you can check the status. It will say with editor, okay, and the date that it arrived with editor. And then when the editor send it to the reviewer, it will say that under review. And then when the reviewer finish, you say the status, it says that it's with editor, waiting for decision. And then when you when you receive a decision, the status, it will change, like either accepted, either rejected, or either minor changes. You know, like this, the process. Just, you know, just you need to submit. You need to prepare your manuscript properly, proper paper, and then submit it through the website, through the link. Everything is straightforward and clear. And the process, as I told you, in the editor shouldn't take more than 1 week. And then after revision for SPE, it says that you will receive the first decision after 1 month. So within one month, you should receive a decision. And then you see, based on the decision, you will go for the next step. You will resubmit. Maybe you will withdraw. Maybe you will answer the question, and maybe it will be accepted from the first round. So
So when our paper can be called a pre-reviewed, is it before the reviewers or like after?
No, after it got published. Peer reviewed, it means that it got published. After it got published from a peer reviewed journal. They call it in Arabic, مجلة محكمة. Peer reviewed, it's actually the word محكمة، يعني فيها حكم، فيها فهمت، فيها يعني فيها لجنة تحكيم كأنه. But they use this term in Arabic. They call it لجنة محكمة. So if you have a paper that got published from a peer-reviewed journal, so it means you have a peer-reviewed paper. It's from the journal. So like you need to select the journals, and then it's clear. The journals when you Google, try like how I showed you how to do it, to look for the journals. You find the good thing. I believe it's an advantage that we have limited journals we can publish in. This is sometimes good that you don't have to look a lot and then to get lost, and then like you don't know what to choose, this or this. So sometimes when you have limited options, it's good. Okay, any more
In
questions?
sorry, in PhD studies, can for example, instead of doing like one big research at the end, submitting like or publishing one paper yearly like, for
Yeah,
4 years.
it should be like this for PhD. In SQU, it's a requirement for graduation that you need to publish at least one journal paper, at least one. If you didn't publish one, you'll not graduate. For PhD, it's a requirement actually in SQU. Other universities, yeah, some of them it's not a requirement. In some of the universities, like they ask for three. Like if the PhD duration is 3 years, you need to publish one journal paper per year. Usually, how they divide it, like the first year of your study, it should be literature review. Like you should, because you need to read about your topic, you need to know, you need to do all of this. You need to prepare for your oral exam. So the paper. Okay, this is the first year. The second year, when you start your experimental work, and then you divide it to stages, like the first stage to cover the first objective, the work of the first year, this is the paper, and then the second objective, the third year. And then you will end up with 3 years. You graduate with, we graduate with 3 papers. So for SQ, yeah, it's a requirement actually. Inshallah, technical presentation related to your research. Inshallah soon. But no one answered. Are you, all of you, now ready to write a technical paper? I hope so. Everyone is.
Yeah, actually,
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, Baisa, because I think it is very informative workshop with all the details needed for start your own paper. And
Okay.
yeah, I think you cover all of things and really appreciate your effort in delivering
Thank you.
the details. So
But
yeah, mhm.
I remember something that I forgot to mention. I remember something very, very important in any writing. It's about the tense, the writing tense. Sorry, I forgot to mention about it. So there is a rule in writing tense, past, present, all of this. Most of the mistakes and that there is a rule. Always write in past. Always write in past tense, because as I told, when you start writing your paper, you're already done. You have your result. You're done your research. So the paper always written in past tense. Present, present only if you are stating facts. Only if you are stating facts, you mention in present, usually in the introduction. But for the methodology, it's in past tense, in the abstract, in the conclusion, all in past tense. Also, the result should be in past tense. The only part if you write figure shows or table shows. But other than that, if it's not a fact, you're not stating a fact. If you're not talking about the future, for the recommendation, for example, or something somewhere else in the future, always write in past tense. I think like having this rule will make it easier because all of us like we question the tense. What is the appropriate tense for writing?
Yeah, it's good to mention Dr. Maissa because most of our mistakes are in the grammar
And the
and
grammar, yeah,
tense.
tense.
Good to mention, good.
Okay.
So, is there any more questions, guys? If no, I think we're gonna end our workshop and we can thank in advance our guest for today, Dr. Maissa, for having you today with us, introducing all the details related to technical paper. And I hope that all of our student members might start their own, writing their own paper, inshallah. And you
Inshallah.
will see new faces, inshallah, next year
Inshallah.
or this year.
Inshallah.
So, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate your hard work on the presentation. Very interesting, actually. You goes through all the details very smoothly and very attractive and interesting.